taxpayer make payment, while the last tax clearance has to do with when the taxpayer has been adjudged adequate. I'm going to make an example with that so that we understand what I'm trying to say. Now, if as a taxpayer, I pay yesterday, on the tax receipts, on the ARR, you will see the day of yesterday which I made the payment. But for the last tax clearance, I may pay yesterday for this year or for last year, while I have not paid for 2011. So that means you cannot adjudge me to have fully paid the tax. Then also, on the tax clearance, before this comes up, you can turn to page 15 of your manual. Page 15.
Excuse me. I want to ask, the taxpayer is paying, you see, if the taxpayer has a payment, he has an element of arrears on the bill, and the payment that person is trying to make is a total payment.
Excuse me. Anyway, let's entertain this, but next, can you just put down the questions, eh?
Hello? If the taxpayer has an element of arrears in on his bill, right, and the person is ready to pay the, and he has signified his intention of paying everything, so how would that be treated?
Okay. Thank you very much. If somebody is owing arrears, right? Maybe plus the current. Well, you are supposed to have paid at least 3 years in arrears. This is 2013. Supposed to have paid 2010, 2011, 2012. That's what shows on your tax clearance certificates. But it didn't pay 2010, 2011, 2012, and this is 2013. Your question is, how is it going to be treated? Am I right? Fine. There is no special treatment about this. Now, let us even know the procedure for paying taxes. You're supposed to go to the tax station and get a tax assessment. The question I should be asking is, have you done that? Now, in our own case here, not a lot of people patronize the tax station to get the tax assessment. So we have what we call a self-assessment. A self-assessment is where you assess yourself and pay what you think is appropriate. And what have we done? We have deposited some forms at the banks. The banks, all commercial banks, all their bank branches collecting revenue for Lagos State. If you go there, you get a self-assessment form. Now, at the back of that form gives you the whole assessment criteria, which is the same thing they would have given you as if you had gone for direct assessment. They would have also given you that. So all you need to do is look at your income category and pay the corresponding tax at that level, which means you can decide to go. You can decide to go in this way. Fill 3 tellers and say, this is 2010, this is 2012, or this is 2011, this is 2012. You can go that way. You can say, no, this will waste my time. You pay it in bulk. But when you are filling that tax that self-assessment form, you indicate, let's say you have paid 120,000. You indicate 2010, this is the amount. 2011, this is the amount. 2013, this is the amount. And when it goes into the system, it will be shown just like what you have indicated. I don't know if that answers the question. I should go for them. So that's how it is written. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As I was explaining on the automated revenue receipt, one of the new features we have there is the QR code. And if you look at the screen, the QR code is on the top left side of your receipt. That's the QR code. Now, the essence of this is for us to be able to validate on the go any receipt that is presented to us. Now, when a receipt is presented, before we can give value for the receipt, we need to authenticate the genuineness of that receipt, and that is the essence of this session. Now, there are 3 ways through which we can authenticate or validate the genuineness of any receipts. I'm going to take us through the first one. If you turn to page 16, on your manual. I want to start with the web validation. So, to save time, we're going to do it live, one after the other. You can start with the web validation. Now, my colleague that came up the other time said you can log on to our website anytime, at anywhere. You can log on through the system or through your phone. All you need to do is to type in www.lasg-EBS-RCM.com. When you log that in, it will display the home page of the Lagos State EBS-RCM website. So when you do that, have you logged? Okay.
That's what it's logged on. Okay.
We come to the section where we have payments and receipt. You click on it. It will give you validate receipt. You click on quick validation. It takes you to the next page. At this next page, please, do we have system with us or we have, so that we can also practice as we go along. I want us to use a prototype receipt here on page 15 of our manual. There's a copy of the receipt there.
Hold on. Is there anybody who came with the receipt here?
I don't have personal receipts. If you came with any receipt, let's validate that one and find out what you're holding, whether it is genuine or not. Yes, there's one here. You've got one here. Can you see? Just ask and you shall find. Okay, this receipt, is it genuine or fake? This thing that is like this. Is it your own receipt? Okay, let's find out. Let's find out.
We want to try and validate this receipt here. So when you have enter receipt number, you enter the receipt code. With me, I have 15854827. When any receipt is presented to you, on the right and top right side of the receipt, you see the receipt code. If you check your manual, page 15, check that receipt there, you see the code number there. So the receipt code is the combination of the alphanumeric item you have there, slash EMC, ENFC, UFXL. You come to the column where we have enter sender phone. If you are the one validating it, you put your phone number there. So I'm going to put my own phone number there. Then you come to validate. Click on it. Now it's going to return some items. You are going to look out for 4 things: the receipt and what you have on the system. You are going to look if it corresponds. So I want you to look at the receipt. Look at the number. The number I have here, is it the same number with the one on the receipt? Yes. Okay. The amount paid. Yes. The date of payment. The name on the receipt. That means the receipt is genuine. If the receipt is not genuine, it will return something like receipt not valid or transaction not found. That's what it's going to return. That's the way you can validate through the web. But we encourage that even as you validate, most of the times you validate as an agency. So you first log on as an agency to do this, so that it can be tracked. The system can recognize that this agency has actually validated this receipt at this time on this date. Now, the second way to validate is through SMS validation. I'm sure we have phones with us. We all use our phone to send SMS to our loved ones, our friends and colleagues. Now also, when a receipt is presented, we can validate through SMS. And what we need to do to validate through SMS is to type LASG space the receipt number on your phone. LASG, you space it. Do we have our phones here? Okay. Let's do another practical session. Please can we bring out our phone? Let's try to send an SMS. 4 naira. Yes, I know it's 4 naira. It's just 4 naira. All right, sir. Right. Yes.
After confirming, this man now went to that he has a receipt. After 5 or 6 months, he now came back. To show the receipt again, confirm another.
And find another name.
Yes. It has happened to me. That's why I'm asking. Yes, because I have to repay the money again. Yes. The money was paid to the bank directly.
Do you have that receipt with you now? No, we want to print it. We want to print it as just on that.
Let me go further. Yes. I went to the bank.
Yes.
The bank now asked me to write a letter.
Yes.
Which I did. For 3-4 months, no response. When you get to the bank, they say they send it to Alpha Beta, no reply. They send it to Alpha Beta, no reply. And the transaction is delayed. And the person cannot even wait again. You have to go and repay.
Now, let me see if let me try to understand what you said. Just if I make a mistake, correct me.
If you want me to bring
No, hold on. Let me try to understand what you have said. Yes. Let me try to understand what you have said. You made payments at a certain bank.
Yes.
And they issued you with this receipt. GT. Okay, GT allows her. They issued you with a receipt.
Yes.
And you validated. It showed, hold on now. It showed your name.
Yes, everything.
6 months after, you brought the same receipt for transaction again. Hold on now. And you validated. It showed another person's name. And not your name entirely. On the same amount.
PID number, everything.
Yes. I am not going to say that you are wrong or that it does not happen. It happens. But I think Mrs. Olanika should be able to say more on it. Yeah, it's in her department and she wants it.
Good afternoon. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It happens that that's the bank I handle at Alausa. You know, at times all these bankers, when they are posting, they duplicate names into the system. At times they post your name twice and do their own reconciliation too. When they found that the two names are having the same entry ID and the same receipt number, deposit slip, but the same name, the same amount, fortunately or unfortunately, they may bring your own that they should reverse it. Hello? So they might have reversed such in the system because they see that it's duplicated. So that could be the problem, sir. Or at times they bring out letters that this person, they make a mistake in the statement, want to do correction, thereby using another receipt for another thing. The only thing you can do for us, let's have that receipt here. Then we'll check our system. I have their statement up to today. I will check, then I will be able to give you the feedback what really happened to that transaction. You didn't bring the receipt.
Okay.
We want to take that. We want to take that as a case study. Get us that receipt and let us find out what happened to that receipt. But bring me back to explaining certain things which we thought was not necessary. How do we get all this data that we're talking about that we have, that is on the system? How did we come about them? How is the system fed with information, with payment information? It's simple. Go to the bank, pick a deposit slip, fill that deposit slip with the details. It's one house. Fill that deposit slip with details as required. Please, one house. If you fill the deposit slip with required details, then make payment at the bank. The bank has a special application which we call ePay. ePay directly links with Lagos State government database. ePay links directly with the bank's application. And if you have gone to the bank to make payment with your own ETCC card, information is there so that you go home with your card, with the payment information right down there in your card. So that, and then at the end of the day, this receipt is issued to you. Now, when the information is fed into Lagos State government database, the system is built in a way that nobody has a privilege to alter the information. You cannot make corrections when it has to do with amount paid or change name of payer. Nobody has that privilege. For you to reverse a transaction, which is what I think has happened here, somebody has made a mistake along the line, duplicated transaction somewhere, maybe in the process he is affected. What do we need to do? The bank would have to write a letter, and that letter will be sent to the accountant general, the AG. If he approves the reversal, the bank will reverse. If he fails to approve the reversal, nothing will be done. It is only when the AG has approved the reversal that the system will change. If he has not approved, it's not going to change. So what has happened now, I don't want to go so much into it because we want to see what has happened. Get us that receipt. Let us see what has happened. Is it that the transaction was reversed? Is it that somebody made a mistake along the line? Let us actually know what has happened, then we should be able to tell you exactly what the next thing you need to do. But what is important is that any receipt whatsoever generated, the money has gone into the correct government account. Because when you make payment at the bank, you are paying directly into government account, and nobody can remove that money again except the accountant general. So as long as you have a receipt, the money has gone into government account. So we can account for that payment. We can account for that payment through any of the means that we have talked about. So let's get that receipt and let's go from there. You want to ask a question?
Not really a question. I'm looking at the process of revising the transaction or getting the money back.
You cannot get the money back.
I know you cannot get it back.
Yes. Yes.
But now, the process of validation, after doing it,
Yes.
I think there should be a button or click that a validation report.
That's
As so instant, this receipt has been validated. Somebody can have a print out.
okay. This receipt has been validated or revalidated.
No, now
This one
has been validated.
Yes.
Now maybe a button on that.
Okay, you want to print this?
Yes.
If you want to print, you just print. Send your printer and print. Ctrl P. Print.
Yes, has been. This one has been.
You print it exactly as it is.
And evidence that has been validated.
Yes.
Then that one should be able to.
Now, you go beyond that point. And that is why we're saying, sorry, I'm not the presenter, but let me just, because I've seen some tricky issues around. Now, you go beyond what we have done here. We have what we call a receipt validation register, which every agency must maintain. these things we are talking about, we talk about them in the superlative. It's something that must happen. It's not something that you may do or may not do. It's something that must happen. If somebody comes to get a service from you, you must validate the receipt. And when you have validated the receipt, you have to keep a validation register. Now, what that means is that you have to make a photocopy of this receipt because he's going home with his own. Now, on that photocopy, which is your file copy, across it, you write validated. Under it, you tell us your name, your full name. Are there people from Teachers Council here? It's only teachers that put abbreviations in their names. Write your name in full. Let us know who this person is. Not Kemi I, but